This is extremely critical, and I've seen legendary customer service. I've seen absolutely awful customer service. Jet Airways used to be a wonderful airline. It still is to a certain extent, but used to be a wonderful airline is probably a good, in my opinion. And if you look at what's really, they used to have this excellent service for frequent flyers, and I used to travel a lot in those days. So I used to fly only jet, nothing else, because the issue was, for frequent flyers, they would give you a booking at the drop of a hat. They would upgrade you. They would not make you wait. If you turned up late, they would make sure that you got on the flight. If you had any special requirements, they would take care of it. So it was just worth it. I mean, there's no point in trying to save $100 by going to some SpiceJet or Go Air or somebody. But ever since Indigo came and really created an excellent functional delivery, they somehow lost their bearing. They realized that, okay, they need to start competing with Indigo. They started emulating Indigo in a lot of ways. So now they're actually a poor cousin to Indigo. Indigo flies on time, is absolutely flawless in terms of execution. It's very impersonal in terms of service, because you go, get in, reach where you are. Unfortunately, Jet has started emulating that. So therefore, the one key distinguishing facet that they had, which was the customer service, they've lost it. So now the only thing they can do is compete with Indigo on price, because there's no other choice. So for me also today, if I look at Indigo and Jet and say, okay, fine, who's cheaper? Let me take that airline. So the moment you do that, sometimes you lose your biggest edge when you stop obsessing about your customers. And I think obsessing about customers is not about really going nuts and trying to figure out falling all over your customers, but is really learning to listen to customers. And customers are.
When you have like a scale like yours, or for example, Jet Airways, I can't tell you the number of times I have complained to Jet Airways or I to wait on the phone line and blah blah blah. It's just that they have so many customers, and you must have the same.
Absolutely.
After a certain time, it's just so many.
Which is the problem which Airtel has, for example? The example.
Airtel is completely mass.
Right.
But I'm saying that your product perhaps is not as mass as Airtel. I agree. Airtel has a 1 billion problem. But if you start complaining about it, it's okay.
No, the day you have 1 billion problem, you don't have a customer service.
So
the issue is not 1 billion problem. The issue is how much time and attention you're spending on customer service. The example I've quoted here, I'll read through it later, is of a company called Zappos. Zappos is the byword in customer service, and I picked this up recently from their website. And it's not about what the number of customers. Zappos is now part of Amazon, has millions of customers, probably as many as Jet Airways has. So it's not an issue of scale, but they deliver absolutely legendary customer service. And it has nothing to do with size. It has to do with attitude. It has to do with the amount of time and effort the organization management spends on creating and running customer service, and nothing else. So, which is why, for example, I told you, we've had this rule for a long time. We learned this the hard way 10-15 years back, that you need to stay in touch with customers, because that's the only way. For example, I still get every Facebook post or tweet that comes on Big Basket into my inbox. I don't address them. I mean, it goes to customer service, they take care of it. But I read through every one of them. You get about a couple of hundred a day. And that's the only way you know what's happening. And none of them are congratulatory. I mean, 50% of them are, you guys are an absolute rotten piece of shit. Why the hell are you even in business? But the fact is, the problem that happens a lot of times is people don't know how to handle customers. And the thing starts with, suppose I'm having tea in front of you and by accidentally I spill it on your lap. What am I going to say? I'm going to say, I'm extremely sorry. That was very stupid of me, right? If you need to apologize, apologize. You made a mistake. You screwed it up. Screw it. Yeah, say sorry. We screwed it up. We wrote a letter when we started. Our biggest problem for the last 1 year, the first 1 year in Bangalore was growing fast enough to meet customer demand. We underestimated, and we had to actually really run pell-mell to make sure that we could service customers. So we had customers complaining, saying, I don't find slots. I can't get my delivery. I go to this thing today. I get a delivery after 3 days because there's no slot available. So what is this? You guys are just just not delivering. So we actually wrote to a customer saying, we're very sorry, we screwed up. And this is a printed letter. This is not some email signed by a CEO saying, sorry, we screwed up. Our mistake, we could not grow our capacity fast enough, but we fixed it now. You won't have this problem again. And that actually resonates with customers. You need to make sure that you personalize. You need to make sure that you create structures which. So, for example, we record all our customer service calls, and we collectively as a management team listen to at least the top 50 calls. top 50 worst calls.
How do you sort
It is sorted by a customer service team. Issues. So we go by how, the time it took to resolve it, the code that it has. So we flag customers' temperature on different scales, saying okay 1 to 5. The customer is extremely irate and is really going to come with us, stick with us if they could find us. So and listen to them and figure out what went wrong, and what is it that we have screwed up. So overall, we therefore monitor how many customers. We do about 2,000 orders a day. We get roughly about across the regions put together about 20 to 30 complaints, and we monitor this day in day out, saying why it's happening. Is there a process issue? Is there a something which is a product issue? Is there something else which is happening which we don't know? And you have to do that, and you have to build that kind of process. And so this is an example. This is how when you get in the leading edge of customer service that you can really make it work. So this lady actually placed an order with Zappos. She had some problems with payment which was not due to Zappos. So she called the customer service. So this girl called Brandy helped her and said, she was very nice. And so this lady said, I'm ordering these shoes for my daughter. My daughter's, just graduating from Virginia Commonwealth University. And so that's why I'm just buying the shoes and sending it to her. So this customer service lady tells her, say congratulations from our side to your daughter. So she was very happy. And then, unknown to her, sends her a flower arrangement with a note of congratulations directly from the company to her daughter. Very sweet, right? Exactly. No, but what prompts a customer service person to do that? This is again process. This is not, and this is where it makes a difference. Now, when you get a service like that, do you think that lady is going to buy from anywhere else? Unlikely, right? Shoes. I mean,
a lot of cost for these things?
not really. All these costs will amount to 0.5% of your, maybe 1% of your sales, and your margin is probably 40%, 50%.
Out of her
Yes.
out of her own
Yes.
imagination or
Yes,
company policy?
but it is done out of our own imagination, but still a process. The best customer service is when you can actually create, impromptu, human motivated touch points without any intervention by the corporate or the customer service manual, and because that's when you really touch people. That's the only way you can actually make it happen, and that happens when you train people well. So what does Zappos do? They train actually each one of their call center executives for 7 weeks before they put them into a call center. They go through live role play. They're told what to do. They're given a budget, saying this is, it's like what Ritz-Carlton does. A lot of the organizations do, where they give a budget to every. For example, Ritz-Carlton gives a if I remember right, about $5,000, $6,000 budget to every person in the hotel, which you can use whatever you want on for any customer. You decide. If you think the customer deserves it or if the customer needs it, just go ahead and spend it. Nobody will question you. And so there is no saying why did you spend the money. If you have done it on behalf of the customer, for a customer, they're saying go ahead and do it. So this lady has sent it. She spent maybe $100 sending it across, FedExing it across to her, which is great. But what it results in are stories like this, and that's what makes a difference. At the end of the day, customer service is also about, it's about process, but it's also about emotion. It's also about creating response. It's also about making sure that people understand what you're doing. We will always screw up, and I know in our business it's very, very difficult to. It's such a complex piece with so many moving parts that's impossible for us to be right 100% of the time, day in day out, delivering 10,000 orders or 20,000 orders, which we will reach shortly. And so therefore, but how we respond, what is the speed, what we say to customers is what is going to really make a difference. And if you can do that, you will always win customers.